Hello Tennis World, I'm Steve Andrews, and welcome back to the GSM Tennis Grand Slam News Broadcast. What an exciting Australian Open we've had so far. We've had Djokovic losing a 5-set match, we've had Federer and Murray battling each other out, and we've had Ferrer and Thomas Berdych just beating up at one another. Super exciting tournament it has been. Now I'd like to go to our other room where we're going to show you our match forecast of all the semifinalists and the strategy behind the pros and who we think is going to win. Enjoy! Hello everyone, and you might be asking yourself, well, how did I change so quick going from our main room to our match forecast room? And it's just the power of video editing, so you gotta love it. Here we have our first match, which is we have Berdych versus Wawrinka. And I laid out 3 things that I always look at when I chart matches and when I look at my players. And I also have a tennis court so that we can talk about the strategy that I think these players are going to be using. So first off, what are these 3 charts? Well, I have emotional, physical, and mental. These are what I always try and focus on when I'm coaching. I always try and help a player develop their best emotional skills on the court, their physical ability, their athleticism, and obviously their mental game, which is probably the hardest to work on. In this match, we have a very close match. I mean, we're talking about the top pros here, the best players in the world. So the numbers can't be that different. Talking about emotional tennis and how I think both of these players are going to play emotionally. I have Wawrinka at 52 and Berdych at 48. How this works is I always take it out of 100%. We have 2 players against one another, so total they have to equal 100%. Wawrinka I have at 52% because I feel like he's a stronger emotional player, not by much. Berdych is also a very strong emotional player, but I feel like he just doesn't have that extra emotion to get real excited and take it to the next step. I think he would rather get nervous emotionally rather than to get excited and take that opportunity. Where Wawrinka is an extremely hard worker. I think he puts his time in. I think he's a little stronger emotionally and wants it just slightly more. That's why I have it Wawrinka at 52, Berdych at 48. When it comes to the physical side, these players are 50-50. I can't make a decision between the two. Wawrinka's a little shorter, but a little stockier and stronger. I think he might have just a little bit more juice, but then we have Berdych, who is extremely athletic, tall, lanky, can reach for balls. So they both have their advantages. So I'm going to put that at 50-50. Lastly, we have the mental game. And this one's also extremely close. I have Wawrinka at 51 over Berdych at 49. So you might ask yourself, well, why do you have such a small change? It's because both these players are smart. They both have good coaches. They're going to have good plans. They're going to both be mentally prepared. The reason I'm going to put Wawrinka up there is because I feel like in those real tight situations, the tiebreakers, break points, things like that, I think Wawrinka is going to be a little stronger mentally and know how to win those points. So it's going to be those real tight situations, those little things in a match that I think is going to make Wawrinka win this. If I had to predict, I think it's going to be a 4 or 5 set match. I think it's going to be really close, real tight games, real tight sets, but I'm going to give it to Wawrinka. Over here, I have our court, and up here we'll say this is Wawrinka, and down here we will say this is Berdych. Couple things I think you're going to see. Berdych has a strong serve. I think you're going to see him hit real hard and focus majority of his shots to Wawrinka's backhand side. So I think you're going to see a lot of balls going over here to the backhand side. Now the thing is, Wawrinka has a really strong backhand actually. It's a one-hander and he's willing to go for it. He can hit high balls, which is really rare for a person with a one-hand backhand. But the reason I think you're going to see him focusing on the backhand side is because Wawrinka's forehand, even though it's not the hardest hitting forehand on the side, he's able to really control it well and hit it deep. And I think Berdych knows that if he goes over to this side, it's a little less inconsistent. It's a little more inconsistent, and Wawrinka is going to go for it more. So Berdych is going to kind of take a guess there and hope that Wawrinka is missing that day. For Wawrinka, I think what you're going to see is, I think you're going to see him, let me erase that. For Wawrinka, I think you're going to see him really playing to Berdych's and moving him left to right, because Berdych is so tall. Usually taller players just don't move as well on a court. So I think you're going to see Wawrinka keep the ball over here, and then next shot, take it over here, and just continually move them. I think Wawrinka also, though, is a little bit more of an aggressive player from the baseline. I think you're going to see him really go for a shot here and there, and just be a more aggressive player, going for a little bit more, having that little bit extra confidence again, which comes back to that emotional side. I think Wawrinka, like I said, is a little bit smarter. So while he's playing the points, I think he's going to make those little smarter decisions, especially, like I said, in those real tight situations of tiebreakers and things like that. So that's my match forecast, hopefully. We'll see if it comes true. Sometimes I'm right, sometimes I'm wrong. My players probably would say I'm always wrong, but players, they're always tough to make happy. So I want to switch to our other match, probably the more exciting of the two, because we have Nadal versus Federer, the match that everyone is excited for. In all reality, it's probably actually the real final match. No, nothing against Berdych and Wawrinka; they're both great players, but these are two greats, two amazing players playing in the semis. Big match. So let's look at my forecast here. Emotionally, I have Nadal over Federer, 51-49. Really, I think Nadal is a guy who's super hungry. He wants it, and no offense to Federer, he's an awesome player. He's probably the best ever. But I think when it comes to these Grand Slams, you can tell he wants it, but I just don't think he wants it as much as Nadal. I once heard someone say, well, Federer already has 17 Grand Slams. It's almost as if he's going down in the basement and just grabbing another bottle of wine. He's got a whole ton of wines. He's had a ton of wines. What's another bottle? And that's the analogy for what's another Grand Slam. I don't know if that's true. I mean, I'm super competitive. I know I always want to win. I know Federer's competitive. He wants to win. I just feel like there is a little difference there, and Nadal wants it a little bit more emotionally. When it comes to the physical side, I have Federer at 48 and Nadal at 52. I was thinking of making this 47-53, but I decided not to just because they both are super athletic. But for sure, you can tell Federer is getting older, unfortunately. He's not beating age, and no one can, but he's doing incredibly well at his age. He's doing awesome. I mean, to reach the semis at 32 is amazing. And I think Nadal, being younger and stronger and a little bit quicker, not by much, but he is extremely fast out on that court. I think Nadal, you have to give it to him when it comes to the physical side. And then lastly, on the mental side, I am also giving it to Nadal, 52-48. You might say, well, Federer is the best ever, which means he's got to be mentally stronger. Yes and no. I'm giving it to Nadal in this situation because if you look at the record, Nadal has an outstanding number of wins compared to Federer. And I truly believe that Nadal has a game plan that works for him against Federer now. And Federer has not been able to find that game plan that works against Nadal. Federer has won a few when Nadal maybe isn't on his best or Federer is playing amazing. Obviously, these are two greats that have great matches, but I'm giving it to Nadal because I just feel like he's got that mental edge over him. And Federer is maybe not scared, but he just can't find that game plan that really works against Nadal and finding a weakness or anything like that. Coming over here, if we put Nadal on top and Federer on bottom, I think it's going to be just a classic match that you see all the time between these guys. I think Nadal is going to go with his same old game plan. He's going to take all the balls that he can over here to Federer's backhand side, and he's going to hit it with a ton of topspin so that Federer with that one-hander has to reach high and either take it aggressively, which is hard with a one-hander, or Federer's got to slice it, which allows Nadal lots of times to get into this court, have better court positioning, and put the ball away. I think for Roger Federer, what Federer needs to do if he wants to win this match, I think he's got to be patient, but I think when that opportunity comes, he's really got to go for it. He's got to be aggressive, come to the net. I don't think Nadal likes it when people come to the net too much. It's hard at the pro level though because these guys hit with such great angles and so much topspin. But here's the thing that I do see. Nadal tends to struggle when players are hitting hard, consistent balls. And Federer hits hard balls, but he hits with quite a bit of topspin well. I think if Federer learns how to flatten it out a little bit more, kind of almost like a Del Potro shot, where Del Potro hits flat, hits flat, hits flat. I think if Federer can be aggressive with his court positioning and really be aggressive with both forehands and backhands, flatten out the shots and really go hard to the corners, I think he can beat Nadal that way. In this match, though, I'm going to take Nadal because, again, emotionally, physically, and mentally, I think he's stronger right now. I'm assuming this, I'm going to guess this is going to be a 3 or 4 setter, unfortunately. I would love to see a 5-setter. These matches, these days, I just feel like they're one-sided. If Federer's really on, Nadal's off, Federer's going to win it. If Nadal's on and Federer's off, Nadal's going to win it. And if they're both playing at equal opportunity, I'm going to give it to Nadal in like a 4-setter. So again, I think it's going to be a 3 or 4-setter with Nadal winning. He's going to really be focusing on that backhand side because Federer's got such a strong forehand and his backhand is it's weak compared to Nadal's huge topspin ball. So again, that's our match forecast. I hope you enjoy it, and I hope you watch the Australian Open, and I hope you love it. Get out there, play some tennis, and take care. Bye. Welcome back, everyone. I hope you enjoyed our match forecast and you learned something from it. Now, if you haven't joined our Facebook, why haven't you? Go ahead, like us on Facebook, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and if you're seeing this anywhere other than our blog, go to gsmtennis.com and sign up to receive our free course and get into our community and interact. We'd love to have you. We'd want you to be on our team. Until then, take care, have fun, watch some tennis, play some tennis.